New at 4:30, Southwest Airlines is being hit with a new lawsuit from one mom who says she was racially profiled by their staff.
As Samantha Spitz reports, she was accused by flight attendants of trafficking her own daughter.
Matt, hi, how are you? Is this your daughter?
This body cam footage shows the encounter between police and Mary McCarthy and her, at the time, 10-year-old daughter Myra after a Southwest employee reported what she said was suspicious behavior. The employee told police Myra might not be McCarthy's daughter and could be a human trafficking victim.
The flight attendants were just concerned about the behavior when you boarded the aircraft.
McCarthy recorded most of the conversation, and within minutes, the two were allowed on their way. But McCarthy says her daughter was traumatized.
As a mother of a biracial child who is often perceived as black, I'm well aware of racial profiling.
Now at the center of a civil rights lawsuit filed against Southwest Airlines.
If a private party interferes with a contract between two parties based on race, that's a civil rights violation.
McCarthy's attorney, David Lane, says Southwest did not hold up their end of the deal that comes with buying a plane ticket.
The Denver police were perfectly appropriate here. It was Southwest that used racial profiling to impair Mary's ability to conclude her contract and get safe passage into the terminal.
Since speaking out, McCarthy says she's had dozens of families reach out claiming similar experiences.
There's one commonality across all of the people who write to me. It's that the parent has a different skin color than the child.
McCarthy says she just wants to see Southwest take accountability.
The deeper issue here is racial profiling. Whether you're an individual or a corporation, you should stop and check your biases before you call the police.
Samantha Spitz reporting from Denver. Queen City News bringing you the expert analysis from all sides of this case. We are joined now by Chief Transportation Correspondent Maycay Beeler and Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. So we're going to start with Maycay. As a veteran pilot yourself and very aware of what goes on when people travel, do flight crews go through any specific training about human trafficking? You know, if you go into the bathroom at the airport, you see a lot of signs for it, but what training do they have?
Well, absolutely. And you know, human trafficking is the second most lucrative crime in the world after drug trafficking. So yes, your flight crews do go through training, and flight attendants in particular and gate agents, they've got their eyes on you and they know what to look for. There are clues, there are signs, there are red flags. So some of the signs are if the young passenger seems to be under the control of an older guardian, if the young passenger is not allowed to speak for himself or herself. Oftentimes the flight attendant will offer them a Coke or a Pepsi, a Sprite, and they can't even answer. They look away, they don't make eye contact, they can't go to the bathroom by themselves. And also, if the child or the minor doesn't look like the older guardian, that is a flag, but they need to research more about that. Training is very, very important. Airports are hot spots for human trafficking. We don't talk about it because it's so sad.
Yeah, we've certainly seen a lot of that in the news. But Khalif, does the mother have a case here after listening to all this?
100%, you have a case. When you buy a ticket, it's a contract. You've paid your money and you're contracting with the airline to do something. In this case, you're contracting to fly from San Jose to Denver. And during that contractual agreement, I'm contracting to go freely from airport to airport and be unbothered. And so it goes through a normal tort analysis. Did I buy a contract? Yes. Did you have a duty to allow me to enjoy my contract peacefully? You did. Did you breach that duty? Well, you stopped me on the air path leading from the airport to leaving the plane. And in the process of that, most other passengers got off the plane. But I had to stay there, and because the woman had to stay there and her child suffered some kind of harm, some type of damages, yes, this
certainly emotional, for sure.
So obviously you would point to emotional distress. You point to some type of damage. You heard the young lady crying in the video that I watched. In that situation, those would be at least the baseline arguments for a claim. Now, can this sustain pretrial motions for it to be dismissed? I'm not sure about that. I'd have to obviously look at discovery. But on its initial face, does it seem like a case? For sure.
Well, yeah, because we brought up that emotional and traumatic experience, too, especially for a young person who's just traveling with their mom. In this case, do you think that the flight attendants are the ones that are going to be reprimanded, or does this solely fall on the shoulders of the airline?
Well, it's the airline in its whole totality. And so one of the things I was concerned when I looked at the claim is typically you say sue everybody and then see who can fall off. And so because law enforcement was involved, typically you see, Denver police or whoever showed up there would have been attached to this claim. But it's only the mother and the daughter Beeler versus Southwest Airlines. And so that's everyone. And you have to be able to point to not only did this occur, but did Southwest know that this was occurring, and have you failed to, respond or react to something for a past performance or some past action. And so in this case, race was the but-for causes, what the mother's alleging. If my daughter wasn't black, this never would have happened. And because of that, that's why I have a claim. And she lists in her claim, in the past, 2021, they did this to another family.
So, Khalif, I want to make something clear. I spoke to a captain today. And so it's the captain's ultimate decision to call Leo law enforcement officers. They would rather err on the side of caution. God forbid what goes on with this human trafficking. They're going to let Leo, the law enforcement officers, pick it up from there and decide. They would hate any trauma to happen for anybody. But if they see the signs, they are trained to, if you see something, you say something.
For sure.
So they said to me, Maycay, we are not here to harm anybody. If we see something suspicious, we're going to speak up. If we need to apologize, we will. This was not a Southwest employee. I spoke with American Airlines.
But it could be a cost on that, like saying
yeah,
something too.
the cost to be safe is the issue there. So most of the times, that inconvenience, even if it's a slight inconvenience, can lead to liability. And so one thing you mentioned earlier is that the difference in the race is sometimes a flag. I'm not sure how you can train around that. If you're looking for those types of things and you have a Caucasian woman and a multiracial daughter, and it's an automatic trigger, I think they're opening themselves up for liability continuously.
I think there are other signs they need to be looking for, and they need to vet it. The captain needs to call and say, we need to look into this passenger.
For sure.
There are other steps.
Yeah, just taking that extra time to go through some extra research there. Clearly, we'll see where this case goes. Khalif and Maycay, thank you.